What is going on, everybody? It's a Christmas miracle. The podcast happened after all. Let me be clear. I have had two at least 5 today's was a 6+ hour administrative hearings in the last 3 days. I did not, in full candor, feel like doing a podcast tonight, but you all.
Well, then I guess just pout, Sean.
Well, no, but here's the thing. We're having, this is a 4-alarm family Christmas. We're gonna be the jolliest bunch when Santa comes to see this league. He's gonna see the jolliest bunch of a-holes this side of the nut house.
We tried, and that's what matters in Santa's eyes.
But this is we had to do a podcast because this is, first of all, it's the playoffs. You can never justify not doing a playoff podcast.
Hold on, let me pull up the thing in another tab, the playoff soundtrack.
Shout out to Scotty, first one in the chat. Oh boy, pod time. Also, I came up with a great nickname for Scott. I don't know if you guys ever look at the chats that I write in the YouTube videos. I do write like two or three sentences in the chats. And I came up with a great nickname for Scott after this season. Because the 4 teams left in the finals right now are, of course, the Nova Boys, Champ Zach, and then JuggerScott. It makes way too much sense. Come on.
Get off of Scotty's dick, Sean.
He's got to be the hero this league needs right now.
He's not.
He's got to be.
Get ready for the long night, because it's coming. The prince who was missed is not going to arrive in time.
Speaking of long nights, it is worth noting that there are 2 people who are going to have a really long couple of days because there are waffles or drunken SAT questions in somebody's future, and we're going to find out who by the end of Monday night.
And we're already in play right now, and the Rams 4 shots inside the 5. I am also upset I didn't get a touchdown, but Jerry is
not the way I think he wanted to start.
The writing is on the wall.
It's a little early for that. We'll get there. So,
it's not too early to be an asshole. I am the reigning Sacco for 3 more days. The inaugural TPOP can suck it.
The best part is that is truly the best Christmas present for you. Is on midnight on December 25th, you will no longer be, when Christmas ends, you will no longer be the T-Pop anymore. It will be awarded to somebody else.
I am no longer spare parts.
So here we go. Let's go back and recap how we got here. How did the 2 T-Pop semifinals. Let's talk about the first round of the playoffs and the departure of James and McMillan. And we'll start, as always, with the commissioners matchup. I am safe. 15 seasons and never once getting the T-Pop. I once again am safe.
How does he do it, guys? How does he do it?
How do I not finish last? No, honestly, I will say this, I'm a little bit bummed. And I know by saying that, I'm doomed to get it next year. But I feel like I could beat the SAT even when drunk.
I mean, I also think that, but McMillan also thought that, and he had a bad time last month.
It was the reading that got him.
Shout out to Jason Smith, who actually passed. I don't remember what he got.
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
Jason Smith, yes, he did.
He did. Go back in time.
Somebody fact check us, whoever was there. It was like 5 years ago at this point, but I'm fairly certain that he got whatever requisite score he needed. But please
all I know is I have a video of him laying on the floor that might prove otherwise.
I didn't say he survived the night. I just said he passed the SAT.
I'm not sure he did, but I actually know maybe he did. I don't remember. Anyway, my team not finally. I mean, I've had booms and I've had busts this year. And this was another week where it wasn't like a huge, everybody went off. Saquon was disappointing. Evan Engram didn't do as well as he usually does. And I definitely left some points on my bench. David Njoku has been like the best tight end in fantasy the last couple weeks. Chris Godwin had himself a 20-point day.
Oh, I'm sorry that you didn't have multiple 20-point tight ends this week, Sean. You fuck.
But all things considered, it's always great to not be in the T-Pop final. And I'm happy to take my place and an ice bagel on the other side due to an injury. Marquis Hollywood did not have a good time.
Right. Look, your team has always had a high floor. Certain things didn't work out for you very well. Mahomes has me basically trying to catch the ball for him. Saquon never really got going. Um, but I think you've had a high floor all season, and you put up 130 when it mattered. So, congrats to you. Scrolling to the right to look at Jerry's team, just because I don't remember how things went. Um, 13 points from Tua. That is a little surprising. The Jets are a very good defense, but it was 30-0. So how he only got 13 points, I do not know. Mixon and Walker were back on track. Cup carried him. He really didn't have a bad week.
No, the
115 is
injury,
not a bad score, especially for a team that didn't make the playoffs.
the injury, and like the injury could have made the difference. Like, but for the injury, this could have been a very close game,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have been devastated because it was the Monday night game. Was Jackson Smith and then Jigba had the late touchdown to win the game for Seattle,
Yep.
and that could have ended up if Hollywood had a better game, that could have been the difference maker.
Just to rub salt in the wound if you look on the other side. Okay, so cat's going crazy in the background. Boys, knock it off. Segueing into the other game, it was about the same. So, it looks like the top two scorers won their matchups and the bottom two are meeting in the T-Pop. So
Fair.
definitely some high scores from you and Window, but I think the better two teams prevailed this week, and the bottom two have one more chance to keep those stomachs tight.
It's gonna be it's a very interesting T-Pop final for sure. You have to feel like Window didn't deserve to be in the T-Pop final. Like he did, but he didn't, right? Because he was getting just a ton of points against week after week after week.
So I think my thing with Window, and I said this a couple of times in the early season, I felt like his team was overperforming and that he was going to come back down to earth. So the fact that he couldn't bank any wins, which was not his fault by any means. I think he was the top scorer through at least 4 or 5 weeks. But I thought he was overperforming then. So the fact that he couldn't rack up a single win meant he was going to be in trouble holding on to that wild card, because that's all he was playing for after the first month. Once October rolled around, it was wild card or bust. And we have so much parity in the league this year. It's incredible. I've never seen anything like this. Something like, I don't know, call it 75 points between first and seventh or something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of parity. So not the position you want to be in a month in, but we'll see. We'll see if he bribed the. Oh no, he did. He finally got his karma from the fantasy gods, because he put up 143 against Alex here. 26 from Sam Laporta, 24 from Jalen Waddle in a week where Tyreek didn't play. I mean, that's game right there. That's 50 points between your wide receiver and tight end.
What's great about this matchup? So you were just talking about Tua not having a great day, and only putting up like 13. But
Did
Waddle
he throw
had
7 picks? I didn't watch this game, but I know they steamrolled the Jets.
He did not. So Miami has decided that Raheem Mostert's just going to get a ton of rushing touchdowns, which helped me. But he has like 20 rushing touchdowns on the year or something like that. And the one touchdown I think that Tua threw was a 60-yard bomb to Jalen Waddle. So the bottom stat line for Waddle in this game was what? 8 catches for 142 yards and a touchdown. But that 60-yard bomb is 12 points right there of the 24.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, he had himself a day and in Tyreek's absence against a good Jets secondary. But you're right that Sam Laporta had a monster day getting a garbage time touchdown. It was crazy on a fourth, I think it was like a 4th and 5, and there's 2 minutes left. The Lions are up by like, at that point it was 35-17. They're up by 18 points, 3 scores. They go for it on 4th and 5 just because, fuck it, because they're in the red zone. And they get a touchdown for Sam Laporta, which did make a difference for Window. He, pretty handily beat Alex. But Alex,
as we're sitting here praising Window, I'm looking at the bottom of his score sheet, and now I remember why I was so mad that he won this game. 24 points from the Dolphins defense and 17 points from Nick Mullins, who is the worst quarterback I've ever seen in my fucking life. This man was laid out flat on his back, hadn't hit the ground, just threw the ball straight at the defender's face. It got wedged in his face mask for an interception. He comes away with 17 points on two of the worst touchdown throws I've ever seen in my life. Those legitimately could have both been pick sixes. He could have thrown 3 pick sixes in this game, and instead, I think he ends with 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. It was insanely lucky from a terrible, terrible quarterback. But, that's the to earn that luck, I think.
The Raiders game was on Thursday night. The Raiders-Chargers molly-whopping was on Thursday night, if I recall correctly. And Alex had to be on cloud 9 at that point, right? Because 25 points out of my defense? Hell yeah.
Battle of the defenses, 24 versus 25.
And then Miami's defense, which has been an elite unit in the second half of the year, puts up 24 against a really bad Jets secondary. Really bad Jets offense. But, big win for Window. Alex in the TPOP as he probably deserves. And
I think so. That was fair. I wanted him to make the playoff because I thought it'd be funny, but he absolutely is a bottom 2 team this season. So
I think he'd agree with that. So now we get into the 2 round 1 actual playoff matchups, and we'll go with yours first. Congratulations. Never won a playoff game, Putman no more. You have your first career postseason victory, and like I said, the same week that you're not going to be the Sacco, the T-Pop, anymore, you must be on cloud 9. Like this is
as the late great said, job's not finished. Regardless of whether I win the whole thing, this is not the win I wanted. The win I want is next week. Tonight, this week, against fucking Zach, who stole my fucking bye with his middle-of-the-road fucking team. I'm pretty sure I would have gone 3-0 was against Zach's final 3 games. I ended up averaging like 135 points, going 0-3, and losing the bye to him. Fuck Zach.
If you
McMillan, you have a great team. I had it going this week. You honestly might be top 4 in my opinion, but job's not finished. The job is to beat Zach. Whether or not I bring it home to Nova, that is TBD. But I just want to beat Zach. If I lose this week, this is all for naught. Someone's got to beat Zach.
So 2 points to make here. 1, if you haven't been following the JCPenney podcast or the JCPenney chat this season, first of all, you have a life, so congratulations. But second of all,
I have a life.
But second of all, you would know that if you did, that Brad and Zach, really, it hasn't been they've been going at each other. It's been that Brad has been just going at Zach all season long. And Zach's just like trolling him like, yeah, okay. Because he's the defending champ and he has a horseshoe up his ass. But it's the perfect like Brad is sitting here talking all this hood shit. And Zach's just like, yeah, okay. So sarcasm.
Kyrie Williams, let's go. He didn't get it. Okay. Keep talking.
So that's one part of this that's just beautiful. From a semifinal perspective, there couldn't be a better matchup than this.
Also, let's talk about the fact that Zach, I think, was the 9th scorer last week. And yes, he didn't set his lineup, whatever. If you put his optimal lineup in, I'm pretty sure he's maybe 7th in scoring. He definitely doesn't win a playoff game.
He's 8th.
Because
it's Scotty, then James, then him.
Oh, Jerry, I'm sorry, buddy. Sorry, I'm watching this game on the big screen in front of me, and Cooper Kupp just dropped the ball for a touchdown.
Oh, jeez. I think he just said something in the chat. Let's see, in the Facebook chat. I gotta pull up the Facebook chat. He's losing his mind. And it went to Puka.
He legitimately could have 20 points right now, but
spoiler alert. I think it's going to Puka. Oh no, that was the big play. Never mind. Hold on. Something's coming.
I think you might be referring to the last one. No, it looks like they're
doing
it right now. I don't know if I'm caught up. I'm on YouTube TV. Well, I guess I'm on Prime, so it's not as far behind. Normally, I'm on a tape delay for some reason because Nova sucks.
So yeah, Jerry, things are not going great for him to start, but who knows? It might pick up. But congratulations on your win. I love the semifinal matchup. And one last thing I wanted to say before we kind of get into the nitty gritty of this game. If you and Jason make the final, we have coined it. We have coined it. It's not the Nova Bowl. It's the Insufferable.
We are
Uh,
going to be the absolute worst
oh,
human
I
being.
know. That's why I'm rooting. I honestly, I'm borderline rooting for Zach in this game just because of that prospect.
Get out of
Uh,
here, Dewey. You don't want no part of this right here.
this is why Scotty needs to be the hero this league needs. So, looking at the matchup itself, obviously Christian McCaffrey doing big boy Christian McCaffrey things. It's got you
Jesus
got to
Christ.
feel for
You're all
McMillan.
fucking welcome for knocking Christian McCaffrey out of the playoffs. Like this dude is
40
insane.
burger. 40 burger. There's a
But
reason I
that's
wanted to
not out
trade
of the
for him.
norm. Like he does that every week.
Let me see really quick what his like just look at his performances over the course of this season.
It's been wild.
24, 21, 20, 45, 12, 12, 21, 26, 17, 18, 28, 20, 15, 39. Christian
So his
McCaffrey
floor
is
is
a man
12.
among boys.
So his floor is an RB2. An
Yeah.
off week is an RB2. The other thing I'll say about this has been true every time I played McMillan, but it has not come to fruition yet. It takes a lot for him to rack up points on me because he has McCaffrey, Diggs, and Debo, and I have both of their quarterbacks.
Right.
He took me to the woodshed towards the end of the regular season because McCaffrey ran for 4 touchdowns. Even fucking Debo ran for a touchdown instead of receiving one. So somehow he came out of those two matchups, the Bills and the 49ers, with like a 40-point edge on me. That is very hard to do. I was pretty confident coming into this because of that, that his big chances to bust this game open, I limit that substantially just on the fact that I have his quarterbacks.
Yes and no, right? Because like I agree with you. I agree with you that limits kind of his upside to break away. But it really, I thought this matchup really hinged on how did for me. It wasn't about the big name guys, believe it or not. It was about the no name guys, right? How was Desmond Ritter going to perform? How was Michael Pittman going to perform? How was Najee Harris going to perform?
Mm-hmm.
And for you, how was Okonkwo going to perform? How was Rashid Shaheed going to perform? You know, Garrett Wilson, just some of these question marks. But the thing that I think put you over the edge was honestly your running backs. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, Rashad White, Kyron Williams, all over 20. That right there gave you the win when his running backs, save for McCaffrey, put up 1.3. You won this game on the strength of your running core.
This was this was not a great matchup week for me. Having Chris Olave out and I do have Shaheed, which he's like a semi handcuff as much as you can have a handcuff in wide receivers. And I have the Jets D, and this is the last week I can't play them. They are an elite defense, but there's only so much you can do when your offense is garbage and you're playing teams like the Bills and the Dolphins and the Chiefs every week. So I couldn't play them this week. They ended up going negative, so I had to stream the Bengals D, as well as I've just had a revolving door at tight end. Some of my wide receivers have been a little banged up, so I really needed Jahmyr Gibbs and Kyron Williams to carry me like they've been doing. Kyron Williams, every move I made coming into this, like as the season progressed, was banking on the fact that Kyron Williams would come back and be an RB1. That wasn't by no means a guarantee. His injury, they said it was nothing, and then all of a sudden he was on IR. So I went from having a great running back to potentially being very weak at that position. Him coming back was huge. If he doesn't come back and be the RB1 he's been, I don't think my team has a chance. So everyone did what they needed to do this week. I'm feeling pretty good about it, but job's not finished. I want to bend Zach over the trophy while he has it for 2 more weeks, and then I want to bring this trophy back to the Nova Insufferable 2023.
Well, in order to get there, I just realized. Oh, this is Jason Smith and James. I apologize. I was thinking this was this week's match. I'm like, James just doesn't belong in the semis. No, Jason Smith rightfully beat James. I didn't think James really deserved a spot in the playoffs. And I think it was telling that. He did the right thing. I think benching the Cowboys defense, they went negative, but it's funny that the week James has a bottom
Can't score big if the Cowboys don't dominate. Yeah,
a 9th ranked performance is because it was 2 reasons. It was because the Cowboys went negative, as did Bijan Robinson, went negative 0.1, that close to an ice bagel. But yeah, James had Dak got 6, right? Like,
And that's the thing, right? Like it's not just the Cowboys D, it's the Cowboys. It's the Cowboys offense too, because he has Dak. So if the Cowboys have a bad matchup, James is going to have a bad time.
well, and I
And
mean,
the
like,
Bills are looking like the best team in the league the last few weeks. They kind of put themselves behind the eight ball, going what like 5-6, but they are to be a really bland color commentator. No one wants to face this team in the playoffs.
well, and I mean, like, I just don't think. I just think James's
Right?
lineup was due for a bad game. It happened at the worst possible time, but I honestly don't think he deserved to get past this round anyway. And I do think Jason Smith has the significantly better team of the two, and probably deserved the win. The scariest part about Jason Smith's team is he did that performance with Jonathan Taylor obviously on his bench. Now, granted, he has Zach Moss as the handcuff, but he did that with Jonathan Taylor on his bench, who's coming back this week. Austin Eckler put up less than 6, and AJ Brown put up less than 10, and ETN put up less than 8. Like, Tommy DeVito didn't have a great game either. Like, this could have been a monster performance just by virtue of, again, he's just got points everywhere.
So
Um,
the first thing I'll say is Jason can completely control his own destiny to get the bye over the past 3 weeks, and he was not the team he was in the middle of the season. If you look at that total record thing, I don't know if you have it pulled up, but he was very middle of the road for the first 5 or 6 weeks, and then he just had this stretch where he was at worst 7-2 for like 4 or 5 weeks, and we all thought, oh shit, this team might be unbeatable. This team does not have any weaknesses.
I still
But he
feel
was
that way.
fairly middle of the road coming into the end of the season. So while I do think overall he has a better team than James and a higher ceiling, um, I thought this would be a lot closer.
I think again, I think the semifinal matchups. This might be in all honesty, this might be the best semifinal we've had in league history, and I say that with full sincerity because of who the matchups are between you and Zach, and also between
Because of the
between.
personal rivalries behind these
Well,
games.
no, one is a personal rivalry, but I do think the backstory between JuggerScott and Jason Smith is great because Jason Smith, I think, not to be a jerk to you and Zach, but I think the two strongest teams are on that side of the bracket. If you ask me who I think the two best teams in the league are on paper, give me Jason Smith, give me Scotty's team. And Scotty's team, the only wrinkle with that is Scotty's team has some Qs this week. And that's the big question mark for Scotty is, can his team get healthy? If his team is healthy, he's the only person I think who really is a 50-50 with Jason Smith in any given week.
So we'll get to the prognostication. But I'm looking at Jason's matchup against James this week. And I'm like, to be honest, I'm seeing a fair bit of luck there. Yes, you're seeing people like ETN and AJ Brown putting up single digits, which you expect them to do better.
Eckler?
Don't don't count your chickens before they hatch of Tommy DeVito putting up 20 points. Like he's not good.
He put up
How
10.
Jordan Madison gets 26 points with the world's worst quarterback in Nick Mullins throwing to
He
him.
only
I'd be
started
worried.
he only started DeVito because CJ Stroud was injured. And
Sure, but is he out of protocol? Because he's not in control of that, right? I don't know the latest if he's playing this week.
I mean, if I were Jason Smith, if Jonathan Taylor is coming back healthy, which you think he is, I don't know. This is an interesting decision for Jason Smith. Do you go? I guess you go Eckler, ETN, and Taylor, and your wide receivers Addison, Lamb, and Brown. I guess, and then you do Stroud and Goff. But that's a scary lineup on paper to me. Uh,
I,
you know.
I, I think it's I think he has proven to be boomer bust. Yes, there are some people who can go off. Names like ETN and CD and AJ Brown, I'm pretty sure all have multiple 30-point games this season. So this team can absolutely go off, but it's very boomer bust. And while I think any given week Jason can put up 160, 170, he's shown that he can put up 110.
So
So
let's
we'll
look at
see.
the bracket. We know what it is. I'm putting it up on the screen. Jason McMillan eliminated, James eliminated, and that leaves us with Brad versus Zach on one side of the bracket, Scotty versus Jason Smith on the other. It is this is so exciting. I love this time of year. I truly do. And now the real question is, the remaining question in addition to these big matchups. Like I said, I think this is the best semifinal in history. But I also think that this is the two teams that probably most deserve to be in the T-Pop that you just held up. And they're there. And that T-Pop final is also on your screen right now. I did the Federline picture of Alex that he did for Halloween. And I did the birthday picture for Jerry when he was given 3 beers that he did not want to drink at that point in time.
I'm still waiting for it to come up, though. My reaction is going to be on a tape delay here.
So you are a 10-second tape delay.
I can't see your fucking screen. I have to wait for it to come up, dude.
Doing the league reference with Taco.
There it is. So, oh my god, that's Alex.
That's Alex.
Ew.
He was Federline for Halloween, I think.
I do love the bucket hat, though. Respect for the bucket hat.
So that's where we're at. Let's start. The rest, my matchup with Window doesn't matter. McMillan's matchup with James doesn't matter.
Playoffs with top. What do you want?
There are 3 matchups. Let's start with. What do you think? I mean, I feel like we start with the semifinal. Let's
I agree. I think we saved the T-Pop for last.
Right. So
I'm just starting up now.
Starting with the, I'm going to start with Jason Smith versus Scotty. This is, like I said, I think on paper the best matchup in the league. This is the 1 versus 2 seed to me. The projections actually,
but okay.
No, I'm sorry, not seeds, but this is the number 1
and
number 2 teams in my power rankings playing against each other on the same bracket.
Look, I mean, I think a lot of us are pretty mad at the success that Scotty's had, but
how do I get to this?
While he had a rather favorable schedule, he was still the number 1 point scorer in the league, and instead of 12-2, he still should have been like 10-4. He was deservedly the number 1 seed. He has had a strong team all year. I don't think he's struggled for injuries until tonight, knock on wood. We'll see how the next couple of days shake out, but he's got a lot of cues on that side of the board.
So he does. I'm actually going to pull up his team very quickly just to see those cues.
His bench has as many cues as his rock. Like
Josh
he
Jacobs, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Smith, Keenan Allen is listed as out. So
Madison's cue. Madison didn't play last week.
That's Keenan Allen's a big loss. Nico Collins is questionable. He'll get targets if he's in, but if not, that's troublesome.
Also, who's still on Nico Collins? Do we know the status of CJ Stroud? I haven't. It says Q on that side.
But that hurts. That hurts Jason Smith. I'm going to that side. I'm going to Jason Smith's team now.
I agree, but it also hurts Nico Collins, right?
Let me see. Oh, of course. Let me see Jason Smith's cues just so we can pull them up. Right now, CJ Stroud Q, Zach Moss Q, and Slant Boy is still in the IR. But aside from that, Jason Smith's definitely the healthier team. A lot of this, Scotty is injured at the
Scotty started Taysom Hill over Dallas Goedert. Oh my god, and it's locked in.
That's a
Am I
strategy.
alone in thinking that's crazy?
Scotty says I'm in big trouble. Allen and Collins both have QBs out. Scotty, since you're in the chat, why Taysom Hill over Dallas Goedert? Is this like matchup?
Is it big play or bust? Like, what are we thinking here?
Do we expect a quarterback injury?
God damn it! Who even is it? It's not still.
It's Derek Carr.
Is it Derek Carr? Okay. If Derek Carr gets injured and Taysom Hill comes in and scores 20 points, and Scotty gets that on his tight end position, like formal protest.
Nope, I'll allow it. Scotty, I need Scotty to be the hero that this league needs.
My God, the Maryland favoritism is rampant.
Absolutely, Scotty is my look. I didn't come into this playoff rooting for Scotty, but after the last round, when both James and McMillan were eliminated, Scotty's my only hope to make the next season bearable.
All right.
Also,
the matchups because I want to see the opponent ranking.
Jason Smith wants to talk about his team name and logo. No, you violated the sacred rule. I get it. I get that. But you violated the sacred rule, which is you don't change your team name mid-season. You don't do that. And also, carry me cutlets?
He's not original. He always does that. He does carry me somebody. He did carry me Leviathan. You know what? So he's gonna get mad at me again because I'm breaking Nova Solidarity. But Jason's team names leave a lot to be desired.
Agreed.
I was excited that Cutlets is potentially going to be a saving grace. I love Jason. I just realized you can do emojis in your team names now. That's huge. That's a game changer, but not a big fan. Holy shit. Chris Olave has 8 points already. Let's go.
So,
Sorry. I'm obviously focused.
Scotty says matchup and Goddard hasn't been doing great.
I don't think he's been
And
playing. Goddard
Jason
has
Smith
a broken
says,
arm.
Jason Smith says Tommy Cutlet is his name. Never been carry me anyone. What you talking about?
It literally says carry me cutlets on your team name. What are you talking? What are you talking? What are you talking about? What are we talking
What
about?
are you talking about? So who you got in this matchup?
Hold on, I'm refreshing. So I was trying to find a view where I could see the strength of opponents. I think Scotty's got the better team on paper, but there's so many cues. Obviously, they could all play and they could all live up to their potential. But I think the number of cues, I have to lean Jason. Even if one or two of those cues turn into O's. Tyreek didn't play last week. Tyreek warmed up last week. He was the focus of Monday Night Countdown. And then he was just like, JK, I'm not playing today.
The word is Tyreek will play.
Okay. Then we have Josh Jacobs as a Q, Devontae Smith. Those are good matchups. Jacobs against Kansas City, Devontae Smith against the Giants. They're good matchups if they play. Maybe they all play and nothing bad happens. Keenan Allen is confirmed out. I know that. Jared Goff, looking at who. So let's assume he's going to start Taylor. I don't trust Jordan Addison. I know he came up big this week, but I watched both of those touchdowns and they made me want to vomit. They were terrible throws and he got away with it. ETN against the Bucks. DeVito against the Eagles. Oh my God. This is going to be close, man.
I agree.
I'm going to lean Jason, but I think there's a decent chance that all of Scotty's cues play. And if that happens, then it's going to tilt a little bit in Scotty's favor. But I can't ignore, what is that? 4 Qs and an O.
So
5 Qs and an O. Plus he's locked in Taysom Hill to his tight end. I've got to lean Jason on this.
This matchup does have some very, very good. Or I'm sorry, this game does have some really, really good matchups. But what's interesting about this to me is because of the injuries Scotty has had, he's got some players that I wouldn't expect to start. I'm surprised, quite honestly. I'm surprised, and maybe this will change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised to see Zeke in the flex.
I just noticed that. I think he went off 1 or 2 weeks ago, but I don't think he's a start-worthy running back anymore.
I would wholeheartedly agree with
desperation.
you. He went off 2 weeks ago, and if it were me, now granted, I'm not here to tell Scotty advice because he's obviously proven himself to be better this season than me.
What the fuck is Javonte Williams?
But that's so I would either start Javonte Williams or Nico Collins depending upon health. Obviously, you're hoping that Keenan Allen comes back, but it says he's out. I'm guessing he's not going to play.
Okay,
but
so
I would start.
Last 5 weeks for Javonte Williams, we have 6.3, 8.6, 8.5, 16.6, so 1 boom, 3.0. So 4 weeks under 10 points. Let's look at Zeke just for comparison. Last 5 weeks, 9.8, 6.2, 11.2, 23.5, 7.1. Not happy about either.
Here's what you have to do. You have to monitor the injury report, and if CJ Stroud plays, you play Nico Collins in your flex.
If Nico Collins plays, though, right?
No. Well, obviously, but I mean, I'm assuming. I'm telling you. So Sam says he's start worthy. Stevenson hasn't practiced. Stevenson's still questionable. He could play. There's a lot of running backs that they don't practice. They come in kind of on Friday and do a limited practice, and they come in and play on Sunday. I'm just telling you. if Nico Collins ends up being active and CJ Stroud is active, if I'm Scotty, I say Nico Collins because Tank Dell is out. Who else are they going to throw to if they're going to run their offense and they're playing for a playoff
hands
spot?
down. If the stars align and CJ and Nico Collins both play, then he's moving Nico Collins into the flex.
Absolutely.
Hands down. But that's so many things that have to go right.
It's
and
not,
the other thing to keep in
it's
mind,
questionable. Come on.
But what is questionable? Like that, there was a whole episode of the league devoted to what does questionable mean. Like I don't know
if they're going to play. So here's my prediction. I agree with you. This is a close game. You know who I'm going to predict. It's Scotty. And it's because things are going to break right. He is the JuggerScott. He is the prince who was promised. I do think that I honestly, like I said, if Jason wins, I think Jason right now is the chalk pick. Jason is the favorite. If you're betting on this game, Jason's the favorite. I do think Trey McBride over Taysom Hill is a big advantage for Jason. I think flex right now is a huge advantage for Jason with how questionable that flex spot is for Scotty and how strong Jason's running backs are. But Scotty has Lamar Jackson. Scotty has Tyreek Hill. Scotty has Josh Jacobs if he plays. Scotty has Rashee Rice, who's been hot for the Chiefs because he's the only person who knows how to catch a ball in Kansas City. Scotty has Kyler Murray, who actually still has a very high ceiling on games he goes off. Scotty has the Eagles defense going against the Giants, the Homer Power, and Devontae Smith going against the Giants. There are reasons to like Scotty's matchups. I'm going and giving the nod to, and also, by the way, Jason has a couple tough ones. Miami's pass defense is not easy. But
San Francisco's pass defense is against Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson's a different breed of quarterback. He's a mobile quarterback.
What are we doing now? So it's not the matchups, it's about who you want to win.
I'm saying you have to when you have a mobile quarterback like a Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, it adds an element to the offense that I think defenses that might be prototypical good pass defense have to adjust. And might not be able to. I do think that CeeDee Lamb against Miami's tough cornerbacks in Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard if he plays, that's going to be tough for him. There's reasons. Austin Eckler against Buffalo's defense, no pushover after what they did against the Cowboys. There are reasons to like Scotty's side of this.
Okay, so let's put aside who we both want to win because obviously I want Nova Bowl and you want Jon Snow to be resurrected.
Also, wait, really quick. Time out.
Go ahead.
Jerry made a really good point. Sean out here for
so you have to.
When I said Rashee Rice, the only person in Kansas City who catch a pass, Sean out here forgetting Travis Kelce exists. And Jason Smith said, Sean, we get it. You love Scotty. Yes, I do. No, it's not that I love Scotty. It's that I loathe how you have been all year. I loathe how you
Okay. Look, obviously, rosters aside, I am very pro Jason and you are very pro Scotty. Yes. Scotty has had the better team all year. He has the higher ceiling on paper if everything breaks right. But my objective side tells me that based on matchups and the number of Qs Scotty has and the fact that Taysom Hill is already locked into his tight end spot, Jason is going to win this matchup. And that is not me wanting him to win. Whether or not there's a theoretical path for Scotty to get to the final is not what we're talking about here. Like, this is clearly advantage Jason.
I can ask one question and derail your entire argument.
Oh my God.
When has fantasy football ever been objective or gone how it's supposed to?
Fair and objective are not the same thing. That's my point. Obviously, if this was fair, Zach wouldn't have made the playoffs.
Let's get to that matchup.
If Zach loses against McMillan because Trevor Lawrence doesn't seemingly break his ankle and then his backups comes in and score 10 points when Zach's up by 3, Zach's probably not even in the playoffs right now. So if the fantasy guys were fair, that's a whole different story.
Let's get to this matchup because it's a really good one. Brad versus Zach.
There's some beyond fantasy football in this one. Someone needs to shut Zach up, and it's gonna be me.
Brad is projected as a 11.2 point favorite right now. He is up by about 10 points. with Kyrie
Well,
Williams and
I'll say that my
Olave
projection
in.
is pretty much not changed in the first half. I think I was 140, 141 before this game started, and I'm 139.3 now. So far I'm holding serve.
And I'm just looking at the bench to see if anything is
Yep.
likely to change, but I don't think it is. I think this is probably the matchup that starts. I don't think there's any changes I would
My
recommend to
only
make. Maybe
question was
Aaron
Chris Olave.
Jones.
He was the only one that I was
No.
worried might not be able to play.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, I don't think Zach can make any changes.
Aaron Jones questionable.
But
Darren Waller.
he can't bench.
He can't bench
He can't.
Kelsey.
Kamara's in. Cook and Henry are the only ones who he could switch for Aaron Jones, unless he wanted to bench Sam Howell, which I don't think you do.
Sam
So
Howell got benched last week. Do you trust that he's going to play 4 quarters
he
today? It
does.
is against the Jets, so maybe.
He has Drew Lock, but he's projected for 0. I don't know if there's a Q there. No.
Because
Oh,
he's
Gino's coming back.
yeah. So it's a question of who starts. So he might not have a choice. If I'm Zach, I consider not starting a quarterback in the super flex.
That says the guy playing against Zach. Hey,
No,
go ahead and
I'm
start a
being
tight
serious.
end
I'm
into
being
super
totally
flex.
serious, right? Like Darren, who has a chance to go off more, Darren Waller or Sam Howell?
Brad's gonna be out here. Zach, have you considered Sky Moore at your super flex on the IR?
Look, all of my rage against Zach has been filtered down to karma that I love all of my matchups this week. Everybody's healthy. Williams is healthy. Olave's healthy. Josh Allen against the Chargers. Jahmyr Gibbs against the Vikings. Williams against the Saints. Garrett Wilson against Washington. Maybe the only team in the league that New York can score points on. Rashad White's been Rashad White. Brock Purdy under the bright lights. The Jets against Washington. This is an ideal week for me. If I lose, I have no one to blame but the fantasy gods and whatever I did to them, because I have some very strong matchups this week. So
you're picking you, I assume.
yes.
So here's what I would say: when you look just side by side, I don't have the check marks up because we started.
You look side by side at two teams you want to meet in the finals.
No. Hold on. Let me finish. So when you look, we started this podcast on Thursday night. So the games have already started. We don't have like the check marks for whose player is slightly better, who has the advantage in each matchup. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, that goes away once the first
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
But when you look at these, at least I think it does, because I've been trying to get it and it didn't work. But when you look at these matchups side by side, I went through them all. And in my view, and reasonable minds can differ, but in my view, every single matchup, save for 2, favor you. Allen favors you. Jahmyr Gibbs over Kamara, I'd take you. Kyron Williams over James Cook. That's a closer one, but I still take you. Garrett Wilson versus Jay Jettas is one. I obviously Justin Jefferson, even coming back from an injury.
If Jefferson plays 4 quarters, he's favored against anybody for sure.
Sun God over Amari, Olave over Nuke. The other one is Kelsey over Kyle Pitts, obviously. But every other matchup, even Rashad White over Derrick Henry, Rashad White has been very good in the last 5 weeks of the season. Brock Purdy over Hal, obviously, and I'll take. Even if the Jets have a garbage offense, they got a decent defense against a really bad Commanders offense. So,
they're a top 5 defense. Well, let me see. They were 3 coming into last week. Let's see how far they dropped. They dropped from 3 to 10 based off of Miami's molly-whopping of them. But yeah, they're a very solid defense as long as they're not playing elite
so
teams.
my point is, across the board, you have the stronger lineup in my view. Not by a ton. There's definitely some matchup. There's some matchups like Josh Allen over Russell Wilson, like I think, Sun God over Amari, like Brock Purdy over
keeping
Sam
with the
Howell.
Game of Thrones metaphors here, as Benjamin Stark said, my Lord brother always used to say, nothing someone says before the word "but" really counts. So get to your butt, Sean.
There is no but.
Are you actually picking me?
I am picking you.
Oh my God, I did not expect that. That just melted my Grinch heart.
See, your heart grew 3 sizes right in time for Christmas. Here's the thing. I think that Zach can make up ground, like I said, at Kelsey and Justin Jefferson. But there's the question of Justin Jefferson really hasn't played a lot. And again, who's throwing him the ball?
That's such a good point. Well, I will say, as terrible as I keep forgetting his name because that's how forgettable he is. As terrible as Nick Mullins is, Justin Jefferson is someone you can close your eyes and throw a ball up, and he'll come down and get it.
Sure,
So I wouldn't say he's limited as much as the rest of the Vikings offense
You
by
can
Nick.
argue he's the best. He's certainly a top 3 wide receiver in the league. You can argue, make an argument he's the best. I wouldn't say that as a Tyreek Hill fan, but you can make that claim. My bottom line is, I think you have the slightly better lineup overall. I think Zach can make up a lot of ground at tight end and at wide receiver 1. That's where Zach needs to make up a lot of ground, though, because he's making up for 8 positions. So if you're asking,
I would also say he needs Russell Wilson to hold serve with either Josh Allen or Brock Purdy. He needs
against a not bad New England defense that's been holding teams to single digits. Sorry, and Josh Allen's playing the Chargers, who have nothing left to play for. Give me Brad in the final, regrettably. Hopefully he's playing Scotty, so I at least have someone to root for. Because if it's Brad versus Jason Smith in the final, I might honestly just fold the league.
We're getting t-shirts made. If Jason and I make the finals, we're getting t-shirts made.
The podcast will. This might be the end of the podcast if you both make the final. I don't know if I can do a finals podcast with the break.
Okay,
crew.
to be fair, like I've had a lot of fun trolling you this year. I'm a pretty good sport, I would say. I am really enjoying shitting on Zach as I cost myself all of my karma and he beats me this week. And we have had a fun Maryland Nova rivalry, but I think objectively, I am not nearly as bad a roster baiter as Jason Smith. I don't take this shit that seriously.
I would agree. If I had to pick you or Jason, right now I'm leaning towards you just because Jason has been absolutely miserable. So that leaves one matchup left to discuss, and it's the most exciting one of the year. This is the TPOP final. One of these two guys is going to have waffles or SAT questions and alcohol in their future.
Is this the inaugural TPOP? How are we backdating this?
This is. I mean, I think we backdate the name, throughout the history of the league. So this is not the inaugural TPOP.
So I'm the reigning TPOP. I am not a Sacco. Okay.
Correct. So the question is, who will survive the TPOP final? Right now, Alex is actually projected as about a 3.4 point favorite. So Jerry has Cooper Kupp in and Matt Stafford, but Cooper Cup of Coffee dropping touchdowns and not getting that pay dirt. It is still a close game, so I assume he'll still be involved.
Side note, and I'll throw it back to you in 1 second. Can we talk about how Joe Flacco is starting for the Cleveland Browns, but he's wearing a New York Jets jersey in his thumbnail?
It's great. And he's starting in the T-Pop final. What better place for Joe Flacco to be?
Okay, let's look at these. Is Isaiah Pacheco for sure playing? I thought he was injured. I don't see a explanation by him.
Here's the thing. I'll talk about this matchup for a second. Because aside from a couple guys on Alex's lineup, it really does feel like the replacements, like the bad news bears on that side of the ball. Like
I don't remember him being this bad.
Joe Flacco, Dalton Kincaid, Tyler Lockett, T. Higgins, who got in a trade from me, by the way. He's starting the Bears defense right now. The Bears. And granted, it's against the Cardinals and Kyler Murray, but the Bears defense.
Alex, you should be on the waiver. I don't know why you have someone in the IR slot. You should be on the waiver wire right now looking for a streaming defense. Stop watching this podcast and replace the Bears.
He's not watching the podcast, I don't think. I think it's Jason, Scotty, Sam, and Jerry.
And if I'm Jerry, I ad drop every defense. Let's put them all on waivers Saturday night.
Jerry's out here playing chess instead of checkers. Oh, Matt Stafford, big play.
Matt Stafford's on pace for 20 plus. Jerry's doing what he needs to do so far. Cooper Kupp has not blown up yet as I look up. And no, wait, that's Puka again.
Sweet Pukas, man.
But the thing is, like, even though he hasn't gotten that big play out of Cooper Kupp in the first half, this is still a close game, and Matt Stafford is going to continue to throw the ball. So I'm liking a lot of what I see on Jerry's side. As much as I would love to see him go right back to Waffle House a week and a half after he just left.
They'll know him
Based on
already.
this team, give me Jerry.
The
Like,
all the wait staff he'll go in, and all the wait staff will be like, "Well, you lost again."
just do this. Question: do you go to a different Waffle House if that happens?
I feel like you have to go to the same one.
The same one, really.
No, you don't. I mean,
The same one, and you have to confirm that at least you have to have the same server. You
no,
have to figure when they're working and come back in their section.
I will say this: I'm fine with him doing a different Waffle House because the service in that one was spotty, and so that made it, I think, a little bit tougher. But it would be hilarious to go back and they'd be like, "You lost again? You were just here a week and a half ago. What happened?"
All right, so this is the third. This is the third time the Rams are first and goal. Either Jared or I are going to be very happy here in a second if Kyron or Cooper Kupp.
I'll let you talk it out while I'm talking the matchup. You've predicted Jerry, and I will go ahead and say I am predicting Jerry as well.
It's also it's dead 50-50. It is a 1 point prediction right now.
I just think Jerry overall, again, it's the litmus test thing for me, right? I think Jerry has the stronger team on paper. I think he has much more favorable, I wouldn't say much more favorable matchups, but certainly like Joe Mixon against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is nothing to write home about. Tennessee's defense is nothing to write home about. Obviously, the Rams are, this is what their third red zone trip. Like they're moving the ball downfield. I do think Brandon Cooks is kind of a weak play at the flex. I don't know that I. What happened?
Not going to answer that. Somebody on the Rams just scored a touchdown. I will not say who. Anyway, yes. So I think the thing this comes down to me is so often fantasy playoff games are won by one player who just plays out of their fucking mind. And when I'm looking at these two teams side by side, Tua, Joe Mixon, Cooper Kupp, Calvin Ridley.
No,
so many people on Jerry's team can go off and get him that 30 points that he needs to secure his victory. I don't see who on Burchak's side can do that. Maybe T. Higgins.
DJ Moore's had a few games, and Jalen Hurts could absolutely keep Alex in this game. What Alex needs is for Jalen Hurts to have one of his best games of the year, and he does. To his credit, he does get the Giants, right?
He's averaging a rushing touchdown a game, so that's
what is Jalen Hurts' best performance of the season? What did he do against the Giants this year? Have they played already? No, they played twice in the last 3 weeks of the season. Wow. Okay, but still, like his best.
Other than a stinker against Dallas, he's dominating.
Yeah, he is the number two
quarterback
in fantasy. Yeah. He's the like aside from like you said the Dallas game, he's been putting up essentially 20 a week.
Yeah,
that's where Alex can really keep. It's going to come down to whether that keeps him in the game because Matt Stafford has 2 passing touchdowns and 200 yards already.
And that's the thing, right? Like we can't pretend like this game hasn't already started. Jalen Hurts can obviously get 20 to 30, but if Jerry can hold serve with 20 to 25 from Matthew Stafford, he's just taken Alex's best punch and he's still standing. And he has more players that can go off.
Not to mention the counterpunch of Tua against Joe Flacco.
Yes.
Even against Dallas's good defense.
I agree.
So, yeah, I'm going Jerry in this one as well. I think Alex – I don't know if – let me actually go back in the league history page. I don't know that Alex has ever been the T-Pop before. Oh, he – has not. Alex has never been the T-Pop.
He is the only rookie champion, knock on wood, Alex, that you keep that distinction.
Fun fact, if Jerry does, for some reason, win the T-Pop, it will be, I believe, a league record 4 times.
He 4? I thought it was 3. He already has 3?
He has 3 already in 2004. Wow. It's season 6, 2014, season 10, 2018, season 13, 2021. He currently shares that distinction of 3 T-Pops with Jason Smith, who won the T-Pop in season 2, season 9, and season 12.
What season is this? 15 or 16?
15. This is 15.
Okay, so if Jerry is the T-Pop, he has come in last place over a quarter of the time.
Correct.
That's insane. That is an insane stat.
It's
I'm
wild.
buying him a ring. Jerry, if you win the T-Pop, I'm buying you a ring that's bigger than the championship across the Waffle House.
Well, we both predicted
Alex,
him to win, so
Alex, I'm
that
praying
might be
for
the
you,
kiss
but
of
your team
death.
is hot garbage, and I'm pretty sure you're gonna win the T-Pop.
All right, guys. Well, that is our podcast. Merry Christmas. In all sincerity, Merry Christmas to every single one of you. Thanks for tuning in. 5 concurrent viewers. I love this league. I love each and every one of you. I love that I'm not in the T-Pop final and not going to take that trophy that Brad is waving right now home. But I hope you all have a wonderful and safe holiday with your family and friends. I hope you all have great luck in your matchups, unless you're from Nova or you're the defending champion in this league.
It's literally everyone with Scotty. You literally just said, go Scotty.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what I'm about. And from all of us here at the JC Penny podcast, all I have to say is, Brad, you can't see the motion, but I'm doing the cutlet. So, Merry Christmas, guys. Happy holidays. We'll see you next week for the finals. Someone's getting the trophy.
No, big tuna.
And, oh, what P.S. We're talking about the trophy. We've been sharing some links, sharing some pictures. So when we settle on something, we'll show it to the league before we buy it.
There's some exciting stuff happening there. So look forward to a trophy that you can proudly display on your mantelpiece.
It's gonna be great. All right, guys. Love you all. Happy holidays. See you next week.